I don't even want to do an intro. Here's the intro, okay? Andy and Ian discuss the last regular season of football. We'll recap the games. We'll ever. Yeah, COVID. After Omicron, there's going to be a new variant. We're not allowed to talk about it. It's going to wipe us all out. So, yes, enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this past week of football because it's the last week ever.
Speaking of, I saw a tweet that was kind of funny. It was they're like, "What's your conspiracy about the NFL that you're secretly scared might be true?" And somebody was like, "I'm pretty sure the NFL is scripted, but the 2017 Jacksonville Jaguars went rogue and they almost blew it for everybody."
Man. Look, we'll get into it. We'll get into week 18. Week 18. First time I've ever really said that. Week 18, the first week 18 and the last week 18 of the NFL season. And then we'll talk playoffs. We'll do a little preview of the playoffs. Maybe we'll talk college football. I watched the championship. We might talk about that. But it's starting right now.
3, 2, 1, go.
I am Ian Peacock.
And I am Andy Heidemann. And I hate sports betting.
No matter what you say, I'm betting 100 on it tonight.
How many points was I down?
5.
Going into this week. 5.
You're down 5 picks.
Okay. Now, I had you send me the picks for this week so I could follow along to make sure that you weren't cheating because I still think you are, but I'm too lazy to go back and really check your work throughout the entire season. But I made sure that you were honest at least this week. So going into this week, I was down by 5. Andrew, could you tell me and the public how many I'm down right now?
You are down 0. And
you're goddamn right.
It's sad.
Down by 0, boy. This is look. It's so funny, Andrew. Hold on. It's so funny to me that the week that I make you send me my picks so that I could track your work is the week that I somehow miraculously come back from a 5-point deficit to tie it up in the buzzer beater last week of the season, which means we'll have to go into playoffs for a tiebreaker.
So, and it's funny too, because as I was going through it, I was like, I go through top to bottom and I'm like, okay, that one hit. Okay, we both hit on that one. Adam both. Okay, we both miss on this one. And as I'm going through it, I'm like, he's doing pretty all right. I'm like, I'm kind of doing whatever. And there's one, I'm like, oh, okay. He's cut the thing down to 2. And then we got to the Bills where I'm like, and I took the Bills at -16 and it gave me 1. And I was like, ooh, now I'm up 3. And I'm like, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good.
But then
now.
Landslide.
Yeah. And then as it starts going, I was like, and then I also got Bucks at like -8, which I felt good about. And then there it went. One of them was a bad beat for me. I had Browns at -6 and they won by 5.
But you also, that's true because they won by 5, but you also had the Bills by 16 and they won by 17.
Yeah. So it evens out. Listen,
it evens out.
If anyone asks me, I will tell you I knew the Bills would do that.
This is actually perfect. Now, even if it wasn't a tie, we said we were including playoffs.
Right.
I was going to insist this anyway because I was down. So, but it is good. Just the serendipity of the situation where we get to go into the playoffs tied up to see. I mean, this could come down to the Super Bowl. I don't know. I have no idea. I guess we'll learn. We'll learn. We'll give our picks for the first round of the playoffs. But after we recap Week 18, but I just want everyone to know what a comeback.
Before we do any of that, let's talk about. I don't want to harp on it too long, but the national title game for college, Alabama, Georgia.
I did watch this.
Yeah, I did as well. Georgia ends up losing. Or not Alabama. Sorry, Alabama ends up losing. See, it's that's how unnatural it is. It just doesn't even fucking come off the tongue right.
But the way you just said it, you're just like Georgia ended up losing.
Yeah.
Like you're some Alabama fan that wants to rewrite history.
I mean, I didn't care either way really for this one. Usually, now that I'm older, when I watch the NCAA playoff games, I'm mostly just watching for fantasy football, like to see like, oh, who
as
I want,
prospects,
right? Like who I want to draft, blah blah blah. And speaking of, there's a wide receiver for Alabama who tore his ACL. He was supposed to be like a top 5 pick. That sucks. And this is one of those things where it happens, and you're going to get more and more people saying, I don't want to play in even the national title game, because the goal is to get to the NFL and to get paid, right?
Agreed. Didn't the same thing happen to Devontae Smith? Didn't he get injured in the title game as well? Maybe not a torn ACL, but I do remember him getting injured.
I feel like he also
year.
did get hurt a bit. Also, same thing with Jalen Waddle. He was kind of hurt all year, and he came into play for the national championship game, and he's just like, he couldn't do it. He just wasn't ready. And I understand, like, you're with your teammates and your classmates and your buddies, and you're like, I want to play football. I mean, you want to win the national championship game. Like, no one who gets there goes.
It's the competitor in the person,
right?
In an athlete.
But you can't tell me that many of them, if they're like, oh, I could trade not playing in this game for a guaranteed top 10 pick in the NFL draft. Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Which comes with its added bonus of money.
Exactly.
Like, people who get drafted earlier in the draft make more money. It's just a fact.
So, I mean, so that sucks. I hope he's all right. But other than that, no.
It was a good game. So for it being as low scoring of a game, at least in the first 3 quarters, it obviously exploded in the fourth quarter.
Right.
But for the majority of the game, it actually was still entertaining. There were some wild plays, like the fumble recovery by Alabama right as the guy was going out of bounds, and he actually managed. I don't even think he thought it was a fumble. He just was kind of getting the ball, and he somehow secured it and kept a foot in. Just, that was a crazy play. The interception, the pick 6 to end it for Georgia, to kind of put the nail in the coffin. Kirby Smart finally beating Nick Saban. I mean, what was it? It's been since 1980 something
that
the Georgia Bulldogs have won a national
80s?
Championship. Yeah, it's been in the 80s. Kirby Smart obviously getting to the national championship before this, losing to Nick Saban. It's, I mean, good for Georgia. Honestly, they're both in the SEC, so they're both competitors of the Gamecocks. I don't really care either way. I'm not even a big college football guy. In the first place, it was an entertaining game. I enjoyed watching it. And I feel like Nick Saban...
God, Nick Saban is 70 years old.
He's 70 years old, but even though
he's going to die.
Even though he lost, it's still incredible that he consistently not only makes the Final Four, but makes the championship almost every year. It's dynasty to its fullest level, to its peak.
Man, do you just with his age and the way things go at Alabama? I mean, like,
I think he'll die.
I mean, like, there's no way that he'll never be back in the NFL for any reason. There's no reason for it.
No, there's no. Why would you?
Right.
Why would you be? It was a terrible experience.
But one of my favorite NFL moments is when he was asked in a press conference, like, "Hey, are you like thinking about leaving the NFL?" He's like, "Nope, I'm a Dolphin through and through." And then a week later, he leaves the Dolphins. Okay,
I mean, it's like Urban Meyer too. Like, hey, Urban Meyer, Jacksonville is my home. What do you mean?
I'm gonna go to a strip club.
What a terrible experiment that entire season was for the Jags to bring Urban Meyer in.
Except they did push one of our bets. Good for the Jags. I can't believe the dude. Here's the thing: if they had just taken care of business, I'd have been very confident that they'd win their playoff game. But the fact that they lost to this has just made me go, "Oh, I'm kind of happy. I'm kind of happy that this is not a bet that we have to make, because we'd have been on a fucking edge of our seats the entire time they're in the playoffs."
It was smart by you it was actually smart on you, dumb on me to let you push the Colts not making the playoffs as pushing the bet.
You say that, but I mean, it's like it's way harder to make the playoffs than it is to miss the playoffs. And I know that we finalized the bet after they only had one game, but the spirit of this bet was when they were 5-5.
Yes, that is true. And we made the bet when they were 5-5. So yes, them making the playoffs shouldn't have been included in the bet back then. But if I were to tell you, hey, they just need to beat the Jags.
Yeah, no, I'd have been like, I'm in.
That's really on me not spinning it. I'm disappointed in myself.
But
you did the right thing.
I'll tell you this though, I wouldn't have taken it. I'd have been fuming. I'd have been like, you fucking listen, like we made this bet. Speaking of shitty head coaches in Urban Meyer, a bunch of teams released
Black Monday.
Yeah, they released a bunch of core head
a little
coaching.
Bit of Black Tuesday with Joe Judge.
Yeah, Joe Judge. Also, the Texans just fired their head coach today, which is not.
I don't even know who. Oh, okay.
And they probably hired him to be a 1-year guy. They knew that no matter who they were going to hire, they didn't want to saddle them with a 3-15 season or whatever, 3-14 season. I get that, but that dude did a lot with the Texans without his starting quarterback on a shit franchise. I mean, I would not be surprised if he gets another shot somewhere. We'll see. But the Bears fired Matt Nagy. They also fired their GM. Dolphins fired Brian Flores, which doesn't make any sense because he's had back-to-back winning seasons in a division with the Bills and the Patriots. But I guess fucking.
And I think that was the first time the Dolphins had back-to-back winning seasons in like a decade.
Yeah,
it's been a very long time.
Now,
and you're right. Everything else made sense. All the other firings made sense and, in fact, needed to happen. Zimmer with the Vikings, Nagy, Ryan Pace with the Bears.
Vic Fangio, Broncos.
Vic Fangio with the Broncos. It all makes sense. Joe Judge with the Giants, and now, I guess, Coley with the Texans. Sure. I understand and probably encourage most of those firings. I don't understand Brian Flores. The Dolphins have been on the up and up. It just was a weird move.
One rumor that I've heard is that him and Tua do not get along. Like, they don't get along at all.
And they had to pick sides.
And when you're talking about that's super weird because, I mean, if you've got an amazing head coach, like, you're going to want to stick with him for as long as possible. But, I mean, you only get a solid franchise quarterback once every 8-9 years, probably, if you're lucky. And I don't know if Tua is that, but if you have the feeling that he is, I mean, I don't blame them for sticking by him. Now, if they get a really shitty head coach, like in this hunt, I don't know. We'll see. But Brian Flores, in my opinion, like, he kind of gets the pick of where he would like to go.
He'll get another shot for sure.
There's a lot of talk about him going to the Bears. I would be interested to see that. I would also. That's
actually where Jim Harbaugh's going, so he can't go there.
No, see, I'm so upset that Matt Rule is still on the Panthers. But here, I could also see him on the Broncos. They have a pretty decent defense, and I mean, if the Broncos are in a spot where they think they might get Aaron Rodgers or something, I mean, that might be a good spot for him. I don't think so either. No, now, it's impossible to say.
I'm glad you brought up Aaron Rodgers because I heard a rumor, and I think it was on the Dan Patrick Show. I went on a run today. Listened to the Dan Patrick Show. I haven't listened to it in a while. Love those guys. They were talking about a rumor that I have no idea where it got started.
Is this the Super Bowl sitting?
This is the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Super Bowl sit in protest.
Uh-huh.
And so apparently someone got a text of Aaron Rodgers saying, like, if they make it to the Super Bowl, he's going to sit in protest.
First of all,
and I think that's hilarious.
If that text exists, there is, I mean, like, there is almost no amount of money that you could offer me to actually sit up on a stand and perjure myself and say, oh, it's probably real. It had to have been, like, sarcastic. You know what I mean? Like, there's no fucking way that this dude puts in the time and effort to come in, get a team to the point that it is at.
He's been so close. He's been so close so many times.
If it happens, would it be funny? Yeah, for like 10 minutes.
Hilarious.
But then it would be like...
It would be hilarious probably for the rest of the time. And obviously there are going to be a ton of people out there that don't think it's funny. And that
Packers
would probably
fans.
Be like... starting with the Packers fans for sure. And obviously that would probably end Aaron Rodgers' career because he would be a wild card through and through for the rest of the time. So no one's going to actually want to take that risk with him. But at the same time, the whole I want to watch the world burn, I don't give a shit sort of stance, when you're Aaron Rodgers and you're at one of the top quarterbacks of all time, That's hilarious.
Well, I mean,
just funny.
In this story breaks. Let's say the story breaks and it's true, right? Did the Packers they find out? Let's say today they find out it is true. Aaron Rodgers comes out. He's like, I admit it. If this is what happens, we're gonna do that. Do you think the Packers are like, I guess we start Jordan Love through the playoffs, or do you think do you think they just let Aaron Rodgers play until the Super Bowl and they're like, all right, now Jordan Love gets to play in the Super Bowl?
So, dude, I told you this. You bet on. I forget who did the Packers play this past week?
Who did they play? They played who
Viking?
did they play?
No, that was the Bears. The
Lions. They played the Lions.
And I told you, Jordan Love is that bad. Listen, bad. You said no. You said no, no chance. I said, I've got the Lions. I'm taking the Lions. And the Lions didn't just cover. They fucking won against the Packers
absolutely.
And Jordan Love. I'm telling you, Jordan Love is not the future.
No,
and Aaron Rodgers knows it.
Yeah, but I don't want people listening to this to sit here and think that I think.
No, you love Jordan Rodgers. No, I mean you love Jordan
because you got to remember, look back to a year ago when we were talking about because when I was saying earlier, I don't know if it's possible to tell if Aaron Rodgers is leaving because right now he feels pretty secure in Green Bay. I mean, all things considered, if I had a gun to my head, I would say he's probably staying in Green Bay next year. But if they
hired a cleaning lady, to clean his house in Green Bay.
But if they have another situation where it's 4th and whatever on the goal line, or it's it's an Aaron Rodgers or die situation, and they choose to die like they did last year, he's gone. Regardless of how well the season went, there's no possible way he stays, right? So we'll have to see how that turns out. See if what's his name, their head coach, shaking in his boots when it becomes nut cutting time.
Matt LaFleur.
If they have to fucking make a decision.
I'm telling you, Jordan Love is not the future. Aaron Rodgers knows it, and he kind of holds the Green Bay by the balls.
I would. Again, he's like, you could have made my job easier, which in turn gets you closer to a Super Bowl, and you decided to say fuck you. Okay, the next thing I kind of want to do, just because I'm curious, there are 14 playoff teams, and I want you. Do you have the list up right now? I have our script open.
Do I have our script open? Blah blah blah. No, but I can get it.
So I've got.
Don't fucking look at your stupid dumbass.
I've got all 14 QBs listed here, and I want us to rank them. And we're gonna
ranking the QBs in the playoffs. Okay, fine. Then
we're gonna throw 2 out and give a top 12. What?
Okay. This is fine. So So here are the 14 quarterbacks that you have listed. We have Tannehill in no particular order.
Yeah, no, these are just from first seed down and then first seed down.
Okay, we have Tannehill, we have Big Ben, Mahomes, McCorkle Jones, Josh Allen, the quarterback, not the defense player. Derek Carr, Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts, TB12. I don't know who that is. Jimmy G, Dak, Kyler Murray, and Stafford. I'm glad you have him at the very bottom. Stafford, in no particular order, but Matthew Stafford is at the very bottom of this list.
So, if you're looking at this, initially, which 2 are you throwing out, immediately?
I don't even want on my team. Don't you even try. Don't even think about it. Easily, Big Ben, mostly because of his age and he can't throw or run the ball. And I would have to say Jimmy G.
Jimmy G. Okay. Yeah. I'm good with that as well.
Jalen Hurts is probably number 3 if I have to take out 3. I think I would rather have Derek Carr over Jalen Hurts.
You're saying all these guys over Mac Jones, which is surprising to me because I think just because he's young and a rookie, I definitely would be getting rid of Big Ben and probably Mac Jones. Jimmy G is interesting
This is important. Do I get these quarterbacks, or how am I ranking these quarterbacks? Is it just for the playoffs? Who do I think is actually going to lead?
Who is the best quarterback of these guys, of these 14? And who's the top 12 and then which order they're in. Obviously, I think you're right. Big Ben is out 100%. He's old right now. He's not what
you actually took him out. I can see this.
Yeah. We're going to
his name.
Absolutely.
This is live. We're doing it live. I would have to say Big Ben and Jimmy.
I would be. Here's the thing. For me, it's Jimmy G or Mac Jones. I'd be okay with taking Jimmy G out.
I would take out Jimmy G.
Okay.
I haven't watched the Patriots that much this season. However, one of the games that I watched the entirety of was the Bucs game, and he
looks good.
He played very well in the rain in Gillette, and he completed like 15 passes in a row, and that has stuck with me, I think.
I mean, I like Mac Jones. Again, just for me, like as I look at these, he's like on the fringe. But anyway, who do we have at 1? I mean, I think it's pretty clear. Probably Tom Brady, right?
I would say Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I would put them 1 or 2. I honestly wouldn't argue either way if someone had a preference, because Aaron Rodgers is going to be MVP for the second year in a row, and You think
Aaron Rodgers is going to win MVP?
Yeah, I would bet a good amount of money on that.
I would say Tom Brady is probably going to win it.
I think Aaron Rodgers.
That's a little upsetting. I don't think that's right.
I mean, I don't know, Andrew. I'm smelling a little opportunity for a bet. If I'd have to now before we make the bet.
What kind of bet?
I don't know. Just a bet where I would take Aaron Rodgers and you would take Tom Brady.
And if neither win, it's a push.
It's a push. Now, I haven't really looked at the numbers yet. The season is officially over.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can cut it off right now and just look at the stats. Tom Brady had a terrible game against the Saints. One of the games against the Saints. They lost both games to the Saints, but the second game to the Saints was atrocious. It was that like 9-0 game. And I do know Aaron Rodgers had a terrible game the first game of the season, where they pretty much benched him. I genuinely think, and this is maybe not right, but I genuinely think that because Aaron Rodgers got his bad game out of the way, first game of the season earlier on, that people don't really won't remember it as much as that Saints game.
I'm trying to see here. I'm trying to see what the odds are. Team futures, Super Bowl futures, game props, passing, quarter, half, touchdown score, playoff special. And it's not easy.
What app are you using?
I just use DraftKings.
Gotcha.
But it's not right here, so fuck it. We're not going to do it. So Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers.
Fuck it.
Get rid of them. Who would you say? Who do you got at 3? Or do you know who's like last on your list?
Last out of the remaining?
Yeah, because I got Brady at 1, Rodgers at 2. For me, Mahomes probably at 3.
Yeah, I'd probably put Mahomes at 3,
and Josh Allen at 4.
Josh Allen or Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow had a really great season. I mean, I think is even in MVP talks. I don't think he'll win it, but he's had MVP talks. So he definitely belongs in the top 5.
I think I'm gonna give it Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, just because Josh Allen has been more consistent. He's just got more. Now it's interesting, I guess. Like we're looking at top 5. I know he was hurt, but Kyler, right?
Yeah, a healthy Kyler is a good Kyler. A healthy Kyler is a good Kyler. I think that he could probably be 6.
Yeah, I would feel comfortable with Kyler at 6.
And the rest, I would put Dak at 7.
This is where I start getting into probably, for me, it's Stafford.
Stop.
Stafford, Dak.
Stop embarrassing yourself.
Where's Tannehill though? Hurts is probably, Mac Jones is probably at the bottom for me.
Fine. I would put Derek Carr, Hurts, and Mac Jones bottom 3. And really, you can interchange them.
I mean, this list was not going to be perfect for all of us.
And then I would put, we have Joe Burrow at 5, Kyler at 6, Dak at 7. I would honestly put Tannehill over Stafford. I'm not even joking. But if you want to put Stafford at 8, Tannehill at 9, I'd be fine with that. And then the bottom 3, which are the remaining, would be Jalen Hurts, Derek Carr, Mac Jones.
Hurts.
I feel good about this.
I'm going to give Mac Jones 11.
Sorry.
There we
Jalen Hurts.
go.
Look, we're dogging the Eagles again.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're in the playoffs. I mean, I don't know what more we want. So,
yeah. What more do you want?
Okay, so our rankings are Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Kyler, Dak, Stafford, Tannehill, Derek Carr, Mac Jones, and Jalen Hurts. You know what? I can live with that. That's stomachable.
I could also live with that. I think that's a solid ranking of the playoff list. As a reminder, we took out Big Ben.
Yeah,
we took out Jimmy G.
We sure did.
Sorry.
Okay, so that's that. That's kind of all I really have for the playoff stuff. Aside from like, we can recap. I don't know how much you want to recap Week 18. We kind of already talked about how much of it. Like,
you know what? I don't want to recap Week 18 because I don't want to talk about the Ravens losing to the Steelers in overtime. And I honestly, we can talk about. We did talk about the Jags upsetting the Colts, which I think was amazing.
It's crazy. It wasn't even like an upset. I mean, it was they won 26-11. Like, the Colts fucking
It was a
suck.
slaughter, dude. From the very beginning, it was a slaughter.
I will say this. In all of the Jaguars games that I've watched, like, Trevor Lawrence does not put the ball where it needs to be in the sense of like which receivers he's going to. And he's a rookie. He's like and he has no guidance there. There are no veterans there that can help him. There are no head coaches that can help him. The front office is trash. So I want to cut him a little bit of slack, but he needed to be going to Laviska Shenault and Marvin Jones all season. And there are a lot of games where he just didn't do that. Marvin Jones is probably one of the best receivers on that team. And that's kind of what won them the game this week. So, I mean, hopefully that's something that he can build on. But, I mean, Jonathan Taylor still played really well, 15 carries, 77 yards in a game where you're down.
Boy.
Yeah, in a game where you're
Andrew,
down so much,
boy.
you're not going to get the explosion that is like a 200-yard game. But
I mean, if you're the Colts, do you feel good about Carson Wentz and the number one? I mean, not the number one, but the round one pick that you traded for him, because it's a round one now. You traded a round one, first round pick for Carson Wentz.
This is
who was awful.
He wasn't awful, but he was not good. He was definitely
in this game.
In this game, he was awful. In this game, he was awful. Season-wise, he was fine. Here's the thing. Yeah, the pick sucks, but you're looking at who they could have grabbed in free agency, or who they had. Like, you know, there were times they had Jacoby Brissett. They've really been fluxed. I mean, they had Phillip Rivers, sure, but they've been fluxed at QB since Andrew Luck retired.
Andrew Luck, who looked great. I don't know if you saw him.
Thin as hell.
He looked thin. He looked lean. He looked happy at the national title game in Indianapolis, of all places.
So,
and that had to hurt for Colts fans to see.
Yeah. So is it worth the pick? No, probably not worth the pick, but he is probably the best option that they have. I mean, and they are a decent enough team that they're not going to be drafting a QB anytime soon. So they're going to have to trade for somebody, or they're going to have to be, and this is a team that's consistently built around poor, like not optimal quarterbacking. So, I mean, they have a good defense. They have a good run game. If they get ahead, they can grind a lot of clock. But if they get behind, I mean, I don't want to put a game in Carson Wentz's hands. But let's see. Titans beat the Texans. Shocker. Saints beat the Falcons. Bills beat the Jets. 49ers beat the Rams, and that sucked because I was scared that the Cardinals were going to win, but they didn't either. So the LA Rams win their division, wins me a Matthew Stafford jersey. That's why I have my background.
Good for you. Beat from B3T Sports Analyst Alec.
B3T Sports Analyst Alec lost a bet, and he will be supplying me a Matthew Stafford jersey.
Sad. Jets get blown out by the Bills. They cover that 16-point spread by one. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Now the Dolphins beat New England. That happens every divisional game. Happens every year. Seattle beating the Cardinals. I had Seattle. Let me tell you something. Obviously, Seattle has not had a great year. They have great players. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, obviously Russell Wilson. Where do they go from here? I don't know. Is Russell Wilson going to stick with the team long term, or do you see him going somewhere else?
Man, I don't know. But after our last conversation just 2 seconds ago, I would love a Carson Wentz and a pick trade for Russell Wilson to the Colts.
That would be crazy.
That'd be
Don't
so
you want him
good.
in Carolina? Andrew, don't you want him in Carolina?
No, well, here's the thing. As a player, yeah, but our team sucks right now. Like, I would not want to put – our offensive line is atrocious, and we have no offensive scheme. I don't want to put any quarterback because they're just going to fail. And then we're going to be like, oh, man, look, it wasn't even worth what we traded, and it won't be. So we need to, like, draft offensive linemen and improve that before we even – honestly, we should draft offensive linemen, have a shit year again, but with better offensive weapons, and then let Matt Rule get canned and let Sam Darnold get the fuck out of there and then just start from scratch, burn it to the ground. But Cardinals – they still put up 30 points. Cardinals are still a high-scoring offense. I feel like they've been on such a shit streak lately, but they're still 11-6, and the last 4 weeks have been without Hopkins. He's been injured and out. He'll be back for playoffs, they say, which is another huge boost to them. But
that's good. I'm excited to get to our picks. So let's wrap this up.
You want to talk Chargers Raiders?
Well, I mean Saints Falcons. Are we gonna do
you care
like that? Yeah, we're going to do them dirty like that. Fuck that game. Fuck the Saints. Fuck the Falcons. We're not even going to talk about that game. Let's talk about the final meal, the palate cleanser, the sorbet that you have after a nice hearty meal. Chargers, Raiders, Sunday Night Football, the last regular season game. And what a finish. What a result. Both teams needed to win to make the playoffs. A tie would have made both of them make the playoffs. They get to overtime. They run down the clock. And the Raiders decide to do the Chargers dirty and kick a field goal to send them to the playoffs while the Chargers are left with their dicks in their own ass.
It's funny because there are a lot of people who are kind of upset at this. They were like, I can't believe that you wouldn't just take, why even mess with it?
You play to win the game, Andrew.
Yeah, you 100% play to win the game. First of all, these guys, this is your job. Like, you don't need...
Yeah, what are we going to do? Like, not try to win?
Yeah, like, can you...
fuck?
Yeah. Second of all, these are divisional rivals. This is not like... And the Chargers are not a bad team. Like, why would you want them in the playoffs with you, right? Like, you have...
Also... If the Raiders had tied that game, like let's say they didn't even go for the field goal, they would have to play the Chiefs.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that.
So scheduling also matters. You know, there is going to be consequences to your actions if you decide to just kneel down and not take the win. Now, what I can say is that there was a possibility before the Chargers took that final timeout that kind of like took everyone
by surprise.
Wizzy. Yeah, took everyone for a twirl. You know, they're like, what the hell are they doing? There was an opportunity that the safest and smartest play would have been to actually just kneel down because they were so far out from field goal range. And if they tried the field goal and missed it, all of a sudden you're giving the Chargers back almost near midfield. Or if you punt it and you get a punt return for a touchdown or whatever, the actual safest play would have been just to kind of kneel it and run the clock out. I can understand that. However, they get the first down, and it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I'm all about it. Good for the Raiders. I mean, they've had such a fucking crazy season.
Good for them.
Good for them. Poor John Gruden.
Where is he?
He's on vacation. What he's
doing permanently.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to go over our picks here?
Yes, let's do our playoff round 1 picks.
Wildcard.
Both tied. Wildcard weekend, baby.
So because we're
starting
tied, we got to alternate.
Yes,
I will go first. Unless do you want to go first? I'm fine with.
Andrew,
you pick because I know the order in which I'm going to read these. So like you pick.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
I will go first.
Okay. So top to bottom, Las Vegas Raiders, Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are 5-point favorites.
Give me the Bengals.
I also am going to take the Bengals, but man, yeah, I'm good.
What time is this game? Saturday.
3:30 on Saturday.
God damn. That's usually when the Texans and the Colts play, but As we know, they both didn't make the playoffs this year. Yeah, I'm gonna hammer the Bengals. Actually, I feel good about the Bengals on that pick.
We're both taking it there. We got the Patriots and the Bills. The Bills are 4-point favorites.
This is going to be a great game, by the way.
This is going to be a great game. I'm taking New England.
Oh boy! And the Bills are 4.5-point favorites.
They're 4-point favorites.
4-point favorites. I am going to take the Bills.
Okay, well, good. I'm glad we got a disparity here. Because there aren't enough teams to do a 10-team parlay in the playoffs, I have a 6-team parlay and then 3 2-team parlays.
You're never letting the people starve, and that's what I love about you, Andrew.
Yeah,
You never let the people starve.
Tampa Bay, Philadelphia. The Bucks are 9.5-point favorites.
That is a mighty big spread for a playoff game. Oh, man, but I could see them covering. Now, here's the thing, Andrew. Is anybody coming back for the Bucks?
The Bucks are getting a lot of defensive players back.
But not offense, like playoff Leonard Fournette.
Lenny, from what I know, Lenny is not stated to be back. Yes or no? Well, actually, Godwin, I think will be back. I heard that Lenny and Giovanni Bernard will be back. And then they got 2 linebackers back, and they've had Gronk. Now,
Andrew, there's something in my eye.
Listen, I can't
stop trying to do the show, and can you just show me some sympathy? Fuck.
Do you want me to call an ambulance?
A wambulance?
Do you wanna hit your life alert? You old fucking man.
Okay, I will take the Bucks.
I'm also gonna take the Bucks.
I think they cover spreads. Man. They're an offensive weapon.
Okay. God damn it. I didn't want to be first on this one. San Francisco 49ers versus the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are 3-point favorites. I am going to take Dallas. I'm going to take Dallas.
Man. Debo is so good. Debo is such a fucking weapon.
But,
go Cox. Go fucking Cox. Oh, man. But it's the 49ers, right? Like, it's the 49ers. Like, I don't have faith in them. And 3 points is such a small spread. I'm going to have to take the Cowboys. I feel like I have to take the Cowboys.
You're not.
We took Jimmy G off our QB list.
Yeah, we did. No, we did. But I mean, Jimmy G's also been to a Super Bowl, so
this is true
with Kyle Shanahan. So I don't fucking know. I didn't want to go first for that last one, but I don't envy you. Pittsburgh Chiefs. Chiefs are 12.5-point favorites.
Oh man, I fucking hate this. 12.5-point.
I believe that Pittsburgh. They are the biggest underdog in wildcard history since they started recording these.
And if you remember last year, the Browns absolutely smoked the shit out of the Steelers. Yeah. I mean, fucking destroyed them. I mean, as good as the Chiefs, I can't believe I'm doing this. As good as the Chiefs are, I can't. I'm gonna and TJ Watt is a fucking freak. I feel like I'm gonna have to go Steelers just for value. That's too big of a spread.
I mean, here's the thing. It is a big spread.
I dare you to go Chiefs. I dare you to go Chiefs.
Here's the thing. Here's I'm thinking of. I'm gonna go Chiefs, and here's what I'm hoping for. Here's what I'm hoping for.
You fool!
I'm hoping you fool. So Big Ben had a presser, and he came out and he was like, "Hey, we're like double-digit underdogs. No one expects us to win this game. We're probably not." He's like, "We're probably the worst team in the playoffs. We'll just go out there and have fun."
He's just keeping it real.
He's like, "We'll just go out there and have fun." I'm like, Big Ben, you're gonna be lucky if you go out there and your arm doesn't fucking fall off. And that's what I'm hoping for.
But maybe that means, and I don't want this. I fucking hate the Steelers. I don't want them to win. But maybe that means,
like this is the tour.
Maybe. Well, I'm just saying, if they're going out there with no expectations, there's no pressure on them. Just fucking maybe that's a good thing. Maybe Big Ben's gonna let it fucking
Imagine
fly.
a Big Ben Super Bowl, and then it ends, and he retires. He rides off into the sunset.
He throws the final game-winning touchdown, and then just evaporates into the wind, like like Kung Fu Panda, where like you give everything to something, and then you just all your life force is drained from the universe.
All right, final up here. I go first.
All that's left is a walking boot.
All right, Arizona Cardinals, LA Rams. The Rams are 4-point favorites, and I am going Rams 100%.
The Rams are 4-point favorites against the Cardinals.
Yep.
You're such a fool.
I have
fool,
to. I'm
Andrew.
doubling down, baby.
Fine, I'm taking the Cardinals, and I would take the Cardinals if they were 4-point favorites, not underdogs.
Yeah,
but
that's,
I'm taking
that's fair.
4-point underdogs. I mean, that's free money in my eyes. That's free money. I think it's a free money bet.
Interesting. I think that's wrong, but
no shit.
I look forward to seeing
Stafford.
how this.
You fucking think that the Rams are gonna be Super Bowl contenders? Sean McVay, if the Rams, that he is.
If the Rams win the Super Bowl, oh god,
I'll do whatever you want. I'll call you daddy for the rest of my life. I'll call you daddy.
Oh god, I'll put that in my back pocket. We'll think about what this could be. You never did look to see like what the Stafford bet was. You weren't able to find it, right?
I looked, Andrew. Give me that. I could not find it.
Okay. I mean, like,
find it.
Well, here's the thing. Do we want to make a bet on it now? I mean, like they didn't get the bye, so he's gonna play the two playoff games.
Yeah, the bet, as I remember, was that you thought with him on the Rams, he was going to win 2 playoff games this year, which would mean that he would make it before we knew that they were going to have a bye or not have a bye.
Than he's ever made it.
Well, all he has.
I mean, he just have to win 1 to make it further than he's ever made it. But
has he ever won a playoff game? I don't think he has.
He's played one, but he's not won it.
Okay, so my bet was he had to win 2 because it was like he has to win 2 games. Regardless of what I remember.
Regardless of what it was, if we were going to make a bet right now based on he has to win 2 playoff games,
he has to make it to the NFC Championship. That would be
what would be the stakes on that?
The stakes back then was I think like $50 or whatever. That's what it was.
That's it. That's ridiculous. That's such a shit bet. What would we bet now? Knowing everything that we know now, what would we bet now?
Andrew, I don't know, but I'm telling you, I would bet my left nut and my right nut and my taint too to say that Stafford will not make it to the NFC Championship. I don't care like how you want to phrase that. I don't care what the odds are. The Rams are not making it to the championship game. They're not.
Is this like 100-1 off the green bets, or is this like
no? I'm not stupid. I would give you 2-1. I'd give you 2-1.
Oh, okay. Now that's interesting. 2-1.
I give you 2-1. They have to win 2 playoff games to make the NFC Championship game.
I'll think about it.
I mean you got to think about it soon.
Well, 2 playoff games that's a lot of playoff games. I'm very hopeful.
More than
I mean, like who are your favorites? Because they're the Packers and the Titans as well. Who are your favorites to play in the Super Bowl this year?
I would say in the NFC, it would be the Packers. I think Aaron Rodgers, this is his year. I really do. I don't even really like the Packers. I don't even really like Aaron Rodgers. And honestly, if I could pick, I would love a rematch of the Chiefs and the Bucks, which might happen.
Yeah, so I could definitely see that being a thing.
For the NFC, I think the Packers. And for the AFC, oh man, I don't see the Chiefs getting there again. And fuck the Titans, dude. The Titans are not good. I could see the Bills. I'm going to call it right now. I think the Packers and the Bills are going to be our Super Bowl contenders.
That sounds like a Super Bowl if I've ever fucking heard one. It's like, at the beginning, would be
fun.
At the beginning of the year, everyone's like, Bucks, Chiefs, blah, blah, blah. And then you get there and it's Bills, Packers, where and if that happens, no one is surprised, but the amount of people who would have said Bills, Packers at the beginning of the year, very small, right?
Very small.
To me, I want Tampa Bay to make it, obviously, but to me, the dream Super Bowl this year is Tampa Bay, New England. Just because,
the
hype, right? The hype would be nuts.
But there's no way the Patriots. I don't think the Patriots are.
I don't think so. If the Patriots beat the Bills, I think the Patriots could go all the way. I really do.
Yes.
Just because of coaching and Bill Belichick, and I mean, I like Mac Jones. Like he does enough for that team.
I mean, you have them at least covering 4 points.
Yeah. No, I mean, because I think it'll come down to coaching. I really do. And they've played twice already, 1-1. Bills won the last one, or the most recent one, but
that first game where Mac Jones threw like 3 passes the entire game, and the Patriots just ran it.
Yeah,
and it was like 30-mile-per-hour winds.
Mm-hmm.
What a crazy game!
Yeah, oh yeah, and that's funny too, because there are two sides to that where people go, oh man, you can't really count that because the weather, like that's crazy. Like it won't be like that again. But on the flip side, they're like, they were just running the football. You knew what they were going to do almost every single play, and you still couldn't stop them. So like, what stops them from doing that down the road? I don't know. But that would be kind of. I wanted Dallas to make it in a sense of like an offensive mind, like watching Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, Zeke.
They got weapons.
They do have weapons. And I like their middle linebacker. I like Micah Parsons. I like him as a rookie. He's been fucking phenomenal. But honestly,
Rookie of the year.
I don't care if Dallas makes
it. Nah. And fuck Jerry Jones.
That's true. That's it. That's everything.
Those are our games?
Those are our games.
Titans got the bye for the AFC, and Packers got the bye for the NFC, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Oh,
you're not gonna get me. Listen to me. You're just grapefruit.
I've abused the power. It's too late. I'll never. Our trust is just gone at the end of this show. That's the problem.
Well, it's funny because if we're like,
I watched a really good movie this weekend.
See, I'm not doing it. Like I don't care what you watched unless you said it was Ad Astra, which it wasn't.
It is a space movie.
I'm not doing this. I'm not even gonna. I'm not.
It has Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence.
Grapefruit.
Fuck you.
Every time I come around your city, bling bling. Every time I come around your city, bling bling. Every time I come around your city.